You ask for something critical, a job, recovery from an illness, maybe a child. Days pass, then weeks, and all you hear is absolute silence. In that vacuum, anxiety takes root. It is easy to assume your request was ignored, or that you have been rejected completely. But that assumption relies on a flawed premise. We judge our circumstances using strictly limited linear data. We want point A to connect immediately to point B, completely blind to the millions of unseen variables surrounding us. Judging divine outcomes with limited human data creates a false sense of failure. This manuscript contains a structural rule from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 216. It states that human perception of what is good or bad is structurally blind when compared to absolute divine knowledge. We simply do not have all the facts. When we align with this rule, the perspective shifts. What human anxiety perceives as a harsh rejection is actually a deliberate, protective feature of divine design. Looking at this vintage view of the Kaaba, we are grounded in the historical reality of the Meccan period. Here, Prophet Muhammad experienced a sudden, terrifying pause in divine revelation. The communication simply stopped. During this delay, enemies in Mecca mocked him. Internally, he dealt with deep heartbreak. He felt the same anxiety of abandonment that a modern believer feels during a prolonged silence. Then the response arrived in Surah Ad-Duha. It explicitly established that divine silence does not equate to divine abandonment, nor does it mean God is angry. Instead, this delay introduces the mechanism of hikmat, or divine wisdom. Hikmat is an active process of unseen preparation that only happens while you are waiting. This cross-section schematic shows exactly how that works. A seed must remain buried in the dark to rapidly expand its complex root system. Above ground, the soil looks bare and unchanged, but underneath, the foundation is being built to survive future storms. A divine rejection is a permanent no. A divine delay is an active, highly purposeful phase of not yet. If we map the timelines of historical prophets, we see that massive delays are not arbitrary punishments. They are systemic requirements applied to the most righteous figures in history. In the shadow of structures like the Great Pyramid of Giza, Prophet Yusuf navigated an extreme 20-year timeline. He survived a dark well, was sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned before finally achieving rulership. And in harsh, desolate environments like these, Prophet Musa underwent 40 years of preparation. Prophet Ibrahim waited 80 years for an heir. The data points align. The immense scale of the delay directly matches the immense preparation required for the reward. This leads to a theological axiom recorded in the Hadith of Musnad Ahmad. Any outcome predestined for an individual mathematically cannot miss them, regardless of how long the delay appears. The mechanics of the universe are fixed in your favor. Delivery of your provision is guaranteed, requiring precise timing rather than immediate gratification. Understanding this structure of flawless timing removes a massive psychological burden. You no longer have to carry the anxiety of trying to force an outcome. When you accept that you lack the total data required to choose the correct timing, the only logical response is tawakkul, absolute trust in the divine system. Your role during the wait becomes highly specific and actionable. You strictly maintain dua, which is active prayer, and sabar, which is steadfast patience. You handle the effort. You leave the logistics to God. Returning to the ancient manuscript, Surah At-Talaq, verse 3, provides the concluding guarantee. It promises that total reliance on the divine system ensures the system will be entirely sufficient for your needs. The mandate is clear. Stop measuring divine responses with the flawed metric of human clocks. The ultimate gift of an unanswered prayer is the unseen preparation it forces upon you, the exact preparation required for a perfectly timed delivery.